Aloha and welcome. I'm your host, Geralyn Joseph. I'm a psychic intuitive and a relationship empowerment coach. Today, we are going to transform your relationship energy. This is the introduction to a full course, which is 4 lessons long, that will be beginning on October 1st. You don't need to take the rest of the lessons in order to get something out of today, and I hope you all enjoy. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to start sharing my my PowerPoint that I worked so hard on. And there we go. Okay. Transform your relationship energy. This is the introduction. There are 4 other classes, and what we're doing today is I'm going to go through and I will be hitting on some of the things we're going to be going through in the classes, but we're not going to deep dive. When we do the classes, we're going to deep dive into each thing specifically. So it'll be a lot more intensive and it's a lot more all inclusive. Before we begin, make sure you have some water handy. Hydration is important. Make sure you have something with which to take notes, like pen and paper, because I'm old fashioned. Some people use their phones, that kind of thing, whatever you like, pencil, chalk, whatever. And let's start by taking a few deep breaths. I will help. The way we're going to do this is we're going to breathe in very deeply as much as we can. We're going to hold it and then we're going to release it slowly. When we release our breath slowly, it's letting your body know that you are safe and it allows you to relax. Okay. Take a deep breath and hold it and let it go slowly. And again, hold it and let it go slowly. And one more time. And let it go slowly. Okay. Hopefully, everyone is a little more relaxed now and centered, and we can start. Relationships are more than what you see, it's more than what we know cognitively. There's a whole world of unseen energy that affects how we connect to one another, if we connect to one another, and if we clash. Some of these energetic influences include things like energy cords, your frequency or your vibe, your past life dynamics, and your soul contracts. All of these things combined make up your relationship energy. So, all of this combined helps to discern how you are going to react, how you're going to act, things that trigger you, things that don't trigger you, and your basic baseline of how you feel. Like some people are very anxious all the time, some people are cool or calm, some people are right on the edge of anger. All of these things together help to either support that or negate it. And what we're going to do for the class, that when we go through the full class, is we're going to figure out what all these things are. We're going to do a lot of integrating and letting go of different things so that then you could come back to your core without all those dynamics influencing you so much. I did do this class previously. It was called Healing Your Relationship Energy 1 and 2. The first class we did, I call it the Muggle version. That is where we do all the like assumptions. Um, we talk about your belief systems and different things that are regular every day. And then I have the mystical version, which is more like we're going to be doing here, which are the deep dives to really get into the energy of it and really start at the core to create a good foundation for you to have very healthy relationships. And then we could get into the things that you can actually think about and discern with your brain and with your mind. I feel like without both, it's difficult to really do the healing, and that we really need to be aware of both sides of that coin. And that's in everything, not just relationships, not just our energetics, but the way our world works. Energy cords. What are energy cords? They are invisible connections between us and other people. They could also be, we could also have cords to an event or a place or a thing. For our purposes here, we're talking about the energy cords that are between you and other people. These energy cords are neutral until things happen to them. So, whenever we are around other people, there are cords that are sent out between us. We are exchanging energy, and most cords just fade. Like they really don't do much. It's somebody that maybe you're on the subway with, or someone you see on the street, but it doesn't really make much of an impression. It doesn't really do much to you. So those cords are very faint and they tend to just dissipate. Then we have energy cords that are between people that we either deal with every day or people that we're close to or connected to. Those energy cords could be any size, they could be any color, they could be healthy or unhealthy. With healthy cords, there's a mutual flow. So it's like the infinity symbol where the energy flows back and forth. I'm there for you, you're there for me. I talk to you, you talk to me, that kind of thing. Unbalanced cords will create an energy drain, anxiety. You might feel like you're being controlled, or you might feel like you have to control the other person. So, in unbalanced cords, one person is taking the majority of the energy, if not all of the energy. These can remain in place if this was a major relationship long after the relationship is over. So, just ending the relationship doesn't necessarily get rid of the cords. The other thing that can happen is that we can have cords between us and other people that are there's different types of cords. So some cords are only meant to be there for a short period of time. Some are more deep, like family members or significant other, your best friend, things like that. Those cords are deeper. Then you have different types of cords like Aka cords. Aka cords are very thick, they're sticky. They go through your entire energetic system or through much deeper into it. Whereas regular energy cords, when they're just with another person and we've created those, especially if it's just from this lifetime, those cords will be fairly shallow. Even if they're embedded in our energy system, it's not like they're snaked through our system. Whereas an Aka cord oftentimes will be snaked through the system and they're much more difficult to reset. Indications that you need an energy reset. I'm sure we all need this. But for our intents and purposes, it's feeling drained after interactions. Are there people that you are around who, after you're around them, you're just exhausted? You just can't. You need a nap. When we have obsessive thoughts and emotional looping with people, like once you've broken up with somebody or you've had an argument, if it just keeps going and going and going in your brain, even though maybe that person is not around you anymore, or the argument happened months ago or years ago and it still comes up, that's a really big indicator that you need to reset your energy. Um, Also, a biggie that most people don't know or don't realize that they're doing is having difficulty acknowledging someone as they are currently. So, what happens is that as we connect and we have these cords, they connect in that time and space where it is we met or where we had our biggest connection. So, with a mother and a child, it'll often be when a child is younger. Um, they might be a toddler. They might be in grade school. They might be in high school. But the problem with that is that our cord is going to that space time, and that means in our eyes that person doesn't change. They stay there. So we react to them as if they are still that person. This also happens in marriages and friendships where people don't grow together, or they feel like they've grown and the other person has it, and they're not really looking at the person as they are today. They're looking at them as they were when they met. So this creates resentment. misunderstandings, miscommunication, and a lot of difficulty that does not need to be there. There are several different methods to do cord clearing. And number one, like I said, it depends on the cords, the type of cords. It depends on what you want to do. It depends on how thorough of a clearing you need. I do pulling cords as opposed to cutting cords. Cutting cords is when you're just cutting the energy, but you're leaving part of that energetic in you. I do not recommend that. That's the way a lot of practitioners do it. I've always felt that pulling the cords completely out of your system is the best way to go. Then, if you want to reconnect, you can, and you don't necessarily have to reconnect in the same port. You don't have to reconnect in the same way. It could be a better, um, more mature connection. That's a good word for it, mature. There's putting an energy pulse through your cord, and that is more of a, I'm going to say, a more advanced way of doing it. And another more advanced way of doing it is simply dropping cords. So, when you're doing like big work, like sometimes I go in and I will do exorcisms or things like that. When I'm going in to do big work like that, where I may get energetically attacked, what I do is I change my system so that I open everything up and I just allow all my cords to drop, because I don't want anything that is going after me to go to use my cords to go after people that I care about. So dropping cords is another way to do it. The first lesson is going to be about energy cords, and as we go through that, I will be teaching you how to do all these different things, and we're going to practice several different things. So the class is going to be very experiential, because I feel like that's really the best way to learn something is by doing. Tuning in. What is your vibration? So, your energetic vibration, or your vibe, as most people say, that is the energy that you hold. It's what frequency are you at? And people are like, what does that mean? Well, your frequency is based on your primary emotion. Excuse me. It's based on your primary emotion and how you hold yourself. So it is your aura basically dictates, or is an outward sign of your vibration. Is probably a better way of saying it. Your vibration changes over time. It's not always the same. There are times when we feel like we could, just fly off our chairs and float to the sky, and then there's times where we feel like really like we're under a rock. So at those times, your aura colors are going to change, and they will vary in color, they'll vary in clarity, and that type of thing. But it's the energy that you hold. And we have a lot of control over our vibration when we are aware of it. And that's the key, is to become aware of it. It is very influenced by our beliefs and our belief system. And many of these beliefs are unconscious, or they reside in the subconscious or in a different part of our energetic that holds things from the past. And this could be past lives, which is something else we're going to get into. What you believe you deserve, that's what you attract. So we have some questions coming up, and what I want to do is, for today, is I want to go more into what your vibration is, and then we will briefly touch on the other topics. So this is a vibration check-in. I would like everybody to try and get ready, try and be in a position where you will be able to relax and listen and do this little journey with me. If you can't right now, like we said previously, we could do something where you're going to receive this via recording, and then you can do it then. And what I try to do is, when I put the recording out, I look for this so that I can let you know when it starts, when it ends, and so on. Now, I told everyone to make sure that you had water, and I was a bad girl and I didn't have my water. I do have my mug, which is filled with luscious chocolate. So I'm going to do it with my mug. But if everyone could take a hold of their water and you hold on to it. And then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull in white light energy. We're going to bless our water so it's ready for us when we come out of this. Then we're going to do a little journey to check on our vibration and see what we feel and what we get from that. And then when we come out, we have a series of questions that we're going to answer. It's not a quiz. Okay, everyone? If you're ready, take a deep breath and let it go. And again, and let it go. And one more time, and let it go. Relax. There's a ball of white light above our heads. It looks like the sun. From it emanates shafts of light that enters through the tops of our heads and fills us with its energy. Feel this energy as it courses through you, cleansing, balancing, and protecting. See yourself as glowing from within. We now take our water, and as we hold it, we imagine the white light courses through our field and into the water, blessing it with the pure, unconditional love of Source, of God, of the all that is, of the Christ. I bless this water into the service of my soul, and I program it for my highest and greatest good. Nourish and cleanse me. Amen. And then you can take a sip of your water. I always kiss it to put a little extra love in there. And now you can put that to the side. And we're going to go do a vibrational check-in. Take another deep breath and let it go. Relax. The ball of white light expands and descends until it encompasses your entire room. To the right and the left, in front, behind, above, below, and within. It is a perfect sphere. It is perfect unconditional love. Feel it as it swirls around you, embracing you, and illuminating for you. Your own frequency. Take a moment and just pick up on your energy and how it is reacting to the white light. You may see something, you may feel it, you may hear it, you may smell it, taste it, or sense it in some other way. Is the white light energy moving smoothly through your being, through your system? Is it turning colors or having some difficulty? Do you hear a sound? Is it fuzzy, staticky, clear, loud, soft? Take a moment now and another deep breath and just tune in. Our consciousness asks ourselves, what is it you would like me to know? What would you like me to do? May I support you? We peer at ourselves as if in a mirror, but this mirror can see our entire field, all of our energy, from that is within until that which is furthest from our physical body. What do you see? Remember. What do you hear? Remember. What do you feel? Remember. What do you smell? Remember. What do you taste? Remember. Thank you for letting us see this. Thank you for your resonance, your assistance, your support, your strength, and your loving energy. The mirror in front of us fades as we come back into our physical bodies. The white light sphere contracts and contracts once more, leaving a soft white glow on all it touched. And we watch it as it ascends once again into the heavens. Take a deep breath and let it go. When you're ready, open your eyes and let me know that you're ready to continue. Okay? Right now, I would like you to take some time to write down how you felt before the check in, how you feel now, and any thoughts or revelations that may have occurred to you while we were in the white light bubble. I'm going to stop the recording for a moment. Okay, so does anybody have anything that they want to share right now or anything to say? And we're not recording, so if you want to pop up, you can. If you want to take your microphone off, you can, or unmute it. Yes, Carol.
Well, mine was interesting. I saw myself at a boardwalk on the
Hmm.
beach, nobody around, sort of a gray day, all by myself. But what myself was this intertwined ball of green and purple energy. I'll have to look it up. I don't know what that means. But anyway, they were on a quest. They are together. They
Hmm.
have to do this thing. They are going, they cut off all their personal ties, except, a little bit online.
Hmm.
I mean, just drop people from my life. And it says, can't you relax? Can't you just have a little bit of a life and do this thing? And I say, no, because I'll get distracted, which is true.
Yeah.
But a little bit of a life. So, because I'm just not doing the thing, the quest. So I have to find out what these energies are, and maybe if I could untwist them and let them hang out a little bit. I don't
So
know.
aura wise, green is well, and green is the heart chakra. Green and pink is usually the heart chakra. Purple is more associated with the crown. So what first came when you were saying that is that there's a lot of healing to be done. And I feel like because they're all twisted up, it feels like you've been protecting yourself to the point of distraction, of not really allowing yourself to really experience things and allowing yourself to really um, experience things and take things in like you need to. So being on the boardwalk and alone, and it's a gray day. To me, that's kind of like you feel like you're a lot of times your energy is just very, just like right there. And there's no brightness to it, but it's also not real dark. It's like right there in the middle. And with the boardwalk and everything, that feels to me like you struggle to keep it on an even keel. And like you're so focused on keeping everything on an even keel that you're missing out on these other things that are presented to you. So that's my interpretation, just so you know. So,
Yeah, it's more a quest that I'm just shaking everything off. But then it's just like I'm in a little prison. So I've got to slowly come up with some options of things I can do that will not totally consume me.
right.
And
See, that's the trick because when you're so consumed with something that it's to the detriment of everything else around you, you actually work against yourself because that's why you have weekends. So if you take the time to take breaks and then go back fresh, you tend to be much more productive and get more done than if you
exactly.
just keep focusing on the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
So,
Because when I'm not doing it, then I'm thinking about I should be doing it.
yeah, it's like a guilt thing. Yeah.
So I do take breaks, but then I think about it.
Yeah. So, Bree.
I do feel much more calm, clear, and inspired after that. I feel colors that I received or saw were white, pink, and purple,
Ooh.
kind of like a prismatic, like
Mhm.
a beautiful blending into each other. And I may not have visually seen much in this time,
Mhm.
yet I was receiving more words
Mhm.
speaking to me, and it was pretty brief, yet I was just receiving the message. You were a priestess in Atlantis and in Lemuria, Mu, and just basically bring that back into your beingness now. how would you hold yourself as a priestess now? How would you dress? How would you just to say yes, like you can do it.
To honor
So
yourself now, to honor that energy
exactly.
within you. Yeah,
Right.
that's
Like
good.
exude that energy, walk in that energy, like vibrate and create and be that in your essence and what you show
Just emit
to
it.
others as
Yeah,
well.
that's good. Good. Pink, white, and purple, what does that mean to you when you look
Hmm.
at those colors or think about those colors?
Well, I do also agree that I associate purple with the crown
Hmm.
chakra and the pink with the higher heart. And when I did spend time in Mount Shasta in California, it was all about the purple and the white. So very royal energy, just like clear, high vibrational. Think of like Saint Germain
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah, very
and
loving.
Lady Portia,
Yeah,
and just like coming into like a royal, high vibrational. Um, yeah.
good. Cool. And I want to say hi to Tammy, who just joined us. We just did a tune in, check in on um, our energy field to see what's there. And I want to say we're about halfway through, but I don't know that we're halfway through. I would say, let me see, which one is
Sorry
it?
for being late. Work ran later than I planned.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, so we have one, two, three, four, five. There's um, 5 more PowerPoint things. I'm so eloquent, God bless me. But yeah, so what you missed is probably stuff that you've already worked with me on previously, which is like pulling of chords, that there's different types of chords, there's different ways to pull them. Then we talked about your vibration. And of course, I recorded everything. I'm not recording this part, but we'll record after we get done talking. Um, and then we were talking about vibration and some of the other things we're going to go into in the fuller class, where we're going to deep dive into things. We're going to go into past lives, we're going to go into soul contracts, and all that type of thing, and how each class is going to be where we're actually doing a lot of experiential stuff, like where we're pulling chords and then we're dropping our chords and then we're doing these different things to so that we get familiar with it, so that when we feel like we need that, we can do it. And it's always nice to ask for help. However, sometimes you're just like, I just need to drop everything and go, like literally, you know. So I just wanted to catch you up. Thank you for coming, though, Tam. I always appreciate when you're here. Okay, so let's see who else. Paul, do you have anything to say, Paul?
Hey, sorry.
That's okay.
Uh, no, I'm kind of ADHD, so it was really hard for me to focus. Unfortunately,
After a
I'm trying
while,
to
you get
find.
used to it, but yes, a lot of us have that issue. And because of that, a lot of the stuff that I do is much quicker than most people, where all my things are usually between 10 and 20 minutes. Like I don't do the half hour, the really long journeys and things like that, because I can't focus for that long. Probably shouldn't say,
Yeah,
but it's
I'm
true.
hoping I should
Yeah.
figure out how to conquer the attention
Yes. You
going
will.
around.
I have faith with you and faith in you. I mean, there are some things where it's more difficult to do. One of the things that I found with trying to get into meditation or things like that, where you're trying to go like deeper into your soul or into your psyche, is usually I do things where I'm moving. If my body is moving, okay, thanks, Allison. If my body is moving, then I can focus my mind better. So if I'm trying to meditate and it's something I'm having difficulty with, I'll sweep the floor, I vacuum, I do dishes, I do the laundry, which is great because then you have like it's a twofer. You're getting chores done and you're able to meditate. So hopefully that might be able to help out a little bit, that little tip. All right, Chris,
Yes,
how you doing?
I'm doing. I got love
Hmm.
and love yourself. And then I got purple and the noise was crackling.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
No idea what, well, obviously I know what love and love yourself means, but no idea what the crackling and the purple.
So, with a show of hands, how many people got purple or saw purple? Because I think Carol said purple, Bree said purple, Chris said purple. Uh, Marcus, did you get purple? Marcus might be doing two things at once because he's got kids too. All right, so I'm going to say that it's a purple night. Quick, and I might have seen dark blue. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the dark blue would be the third eye, which is associated with the crown also. So, all right. So it's a purple night. So purple means that we're all working on raising our vibrations and trying to get up here so that we're not stuck down here. And not that necessarily being in the physical is so bad, but when you're in survival mode, when you're in that red or brown or black, then a lot of times we kind of neglect the other side of ourselves. We neglect our spiritual selves, we neglect our spirituality, we neglect even our emotional selves because it's all about being in your head. So we want to always try to be up, like in our hearts and in our higher chakras. What is vibration and how do you know if if having it? I will let you know because that's the next thing that's coming up. Okay. So here we go. I think we got everybody. I'm going to shut that off. And so we're going to start recording again. I'll bring back up the PowerPoint. And if you don't want to be seen on the video, then just shut off your camera. And then I'll start recording again. Did I? Okay. Have I been recording this whole time? So that was a good discussion. And let's get back to the PowerPoint. Okay. So it seems like we had a theme of purple in our discussion, and we are all actively trying to be in a higher vibration. So we will be going into what vibration is. Where is it? Oh, okay. Your vibration is the energy you hold. It's influenced by your beliefs, blah, 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 blah. So there's a whole class on that specifically. So, what is your current relationship energy? That's what we just went and looked at. And what we can do is also ask ourselves these questions to help give us a clue as to where we are and what's going on for us. Who is the either partner, friend, or work group that you seem to attract consistently? And you could use any of those. So, if you're always attracting friends, maybe who don't show up for you, who expect you to show up for them, but then when you need something, they disappear, or maybe you have partners who are very controlling or very manipulative, or maybe you are in a work group where you're appreciated as long as you're going, 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 but as soon as you stumble at all, they throw you out. So, what is it that you seem to attract consistently? And these are things that you're going to think about long after today. And they are things that we will bring up in subsequent classes. But that will give you a good idea of internally what your belief system is. So if your belief system is that, you're the workhorse and that's your only value, then you're going to be attracting things that prove that to yourself. Now, consciously, if someone were to ask you, what do you believe you deserve? We're talking about consciously. We're not talking about subconsciously, like based on what we just figured out. But consciously, if somebody asks you, like, well, what do you think you deserve? Write that down. It's a good starting point. And although most of us, what we think consciously we deserve and what we think subconsciously we deserve are often two very different things. Like they're battling with one another, which is an issue. So we're going to bring those things into alignment. And third, can you name any of your subconscious beliefs? Do you know of any programs that are running that are affecting you that you've discovered that are not like a conscious thing? You're not saying to yourself, oh, I want to get bullied all the time, but this is what seems to keep happening. Things like that. So I'll just give you a minute to answer those three questions. You might want to write it down. Remember, you will be getting the recording, so you will see this. When we're actually doing the classes, most of the classes are going to have worksheets that go with them so that after we're done the class, there are things you can fill out. There's going to be journal prompts and things like that. I always, always, always recommend journaling. And that's whether you're typing it out or you're writing it out. I find that actually physically writing it is a lot more powerful than just typing it, but getting it out of your system and having it where you can look at it and it's something that's there is very important for a plethora of reasons. One of those reasons is because as you work through different things, you will hit points in time where you're like, I feel like I haven't done anything, like nothing is working. What is going on? But if you look back at your journal, then you could see how far you've come. Then you could see exactly how much growth you've had. And you can say, whoa, I was thinking that back then, or that was what was happening a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. So it gives you a good way to be objective about your growth and what you're dealing with. And it may be that something comes up more than once. I thought I dealt with that, but it's coming up at a deeper level the second time. So delving deeper into our relationship energy. As we move forward, some of the things we're going to look at are past lives, soulmates, and soul contracts. So with past lives, you could either believe in past lives or not. To me, it doesn't make a difference. You could think of it as past lives or you could think of it as cellular memory. At this point, cellular memory is something that has been proven scientifically, like they see the effects of your lineage. One of the experiments that they did was with rats or mice, and every time they rang this bell, they would shake the cage like it was a earthquake. So when they would ring the bell, the animals would get very upset. After a while, they stopped ringing the bell, and they found that not just the animals that happened to, but for 7 generations, every time that bell was heard, the animals got nervous. So it was ingrained in their cellular memory that that bell signified that there was going to be an earthquake. So whether you believe that it's past lives or you believe that it's cellular memory, it doesn't matter. Either way, these are things that we can delve into and try to resolve some of the things that come with it. We also talk about karma. So when people talk about past lives, they're like, oh, I must have karma from them, and that's what is happening, or oh, that's instant karma. The thing is, most people don't know what karma is. They're using it improperly because it has just been, it's so common that people use that word. Karma is not about payback. It is not that, you beat me up in my past life, I'm going to beat you up now. That's not what it is. Karma is about learning lessons. It's kind of like discipline. It's there for a purpose. The purpose is not punishment. The purpose is to teach you a lesson. So if you learn the lesson the first time, it doesn't have to be that major of a deal. If you don't, then it's going to get progressively worse as they keep trying to teach you the same lesson. We do take turns teaching each other lessons, and that's where soulmates come in and soul contracts. A soulmate, a lot of people think that soulmates are like, oh, I found my soulmate. And that, no, no. A soulmate, you have hundreds of soulmates in a lifetime. If you've lived more than once, you have hundreds. And all that a soulmate is someone that you've incarnated with previously who you are meeting in this lifetime in order to do something, or you might be creating something. You might be having a child. You might be starting a business. You might be inspiring them to write a book. It doesn't mean you're going to be together forever. It doesn't even mean you're going to be friends forever. I mean, I know a lot of soulmates who come together. It's really strong in the beginning and then it fades away. And then I know other soulmates who come together, it's really strong in the beginning. And then even though it lessens, they stay in each other's lives, even if it's just on the periphery for the rest of their life. So there's different things that can happen with that. But a soulmate is basically somebody that you've incarnated with before that your soul recognizes. And then you have soul contracts. The idea behind soul contracts is that before you incarnate, there are certain things that you agree to do while you're down here, and that has to do with karma also. My belief, and from what I've seen in my practice over the years, is that we all play different roles and we all take turns playing these roles. It's not like you're always the hero. Sometimes you're the villain. Sometimes you're the martyr. Sometimes you're the victim. Sometimes you're the perpetrator. Sometimes you're the hero. There's these different archetypes, and we fill those archetypes throughout time, and we fill them for one another. So it's kind of like round robin. And by the end of it, the reason why people become really compassionate as they grow, as they have that soul growth, is because they have experienced things through these different lenses. Anyone who has never really truly suffered in all their lifetimes, they are not going to be able to be empathetic to someone who is suffering. They are not going to be able to connect with them in a deep way. So, from what I can see, we play all these roles, we teach each other things, and we learn together. And then you have people who come, we have the ascended masters who come, people like Jesus. He was the Christ, and he came to show it. This is the way you do it. This is how you do it, to try and make it easier for everybody so we could hop over some of that karma. Apparently, a lot of people didn't get it. Still don't get it. But it's supposed to be, he was an example of divinity, of this is the way we're supposed to live our lives. And this is how you handle these different situations. So, soul contracts are when we're still in energetic form. And before we come here, when we're choosing our parents and we're looking at, okay, what is my life most likely to be like? These are key points that I want to happen. These are key things that I need to learn. These are the things I agree to help you learn. And then you move on from there. So we'll be doing a whole class on soul contracts. Are you ready to transform? So this course is for you if you feel stuck in emotional patterns in relationship, any type of relationship. We're not just talking about romantic. If you crave deeper emotional connection and spiritual insight in your relationships. If you want to attract more aligned, nourishing relationships. So people who are more aligned with who you are and how you feel and what you need. And nourishing and aligned doesn't always mean that you're in lockstep. I mean, it's actually never means that you're in lockstep. It means that vibrationally you're on a similar vibration and you're on a similar path, and that you nourish one another, that you are supportive of one another. It's for you if you're curious about deeper energetic work, but want an understandable, loving approach. I am very succinct, bite sized pieces. We can go really, really deep, but I try not to make it so so difficult or so expansive that it's difficult to grasp. That's why we're doing more experiential things so that you're getting to feel it. You're feeling it in your energy field, you're feeling it in your body, and you're learning how to use what you're learning. Um, that way, as they say, you give a man a fish, you teach him, you feed him for a day, you teach a man to fish, and you feed him for the rest of his life. I believe in that. I believe that the reason why I'm here is to help people reconnect with spirit and reconnect with God and to have a very fulfilling life because I believe that that's the only way that you really can is you need to be connected to source. You need to be connected to the Christ energy. How whatever name you want to give it. I'm not particular about that. And it's not about any particular religion, but it's about really being connected to the all that is and finding that and allowing that to fill you and your spirituality. Um, you're ready to reclaim your emotional sovereignty and reconnect with your soul. Emotional sovereignty simply means that you're not allowing other people to manipulate you emotionally. It means that you own how you're feeling and the way you're acting and reacting. You are committed to healing, growth, and conscious connection from the inside out. And earlier I talked about my other class, which is a web class now, that was Healing Your Relationship Energy 1 and 2. It was the Muggle version and then the mystical version. We will be doing side trips into the more earthy Muggle type way of looking at things. I do believe in bringing in psychology and your physical form as well as the spiritual, because we are in physical bodies. This is how we're living right now. This is how we choose to come. So it is something that I feel that we need to use the whole package. It's holistic with a W, holistic, all of us. So what's next? If you would like to delve further into this transformation, join us for the 4-week series. So it's only 4 weeks, but it is a deep dive. So the first is on the first, and that's energy cords, the invisible connections that shape your life. I talked about that pretty extensively today. And like I said, it's going to be very experiential when we get together next Wednesday. The second is vibrational frequency. What you radiate, you attract. So we're going to work on how to change our vibration and what that means and how to maintain it. I think it's simple for us to say, well, you got to have a high vibe and you got to do this, you got to do that. But then living in the real world and trying to maintain a certain frequency can be very difficult because we are surrounded by a lot of um, negativity. I'm just going to put it that way. The third week is past life dynamics, healing the patterns that you brought with you. So we're going to look at either cellular memory or past life, however you want to look at it. We're going to go back. We are going to do a regression and we're going to look at whatever lifetime is most affecting you right now. Like, what are the things that are most affecting you right now? I find that when I do that with my clients and when I've done that myself, it's a lot easier to break through patterns if you figure out where the root is. You don't have to dig all the way down to the absolute root to find things. But I do find that when you're going into past lives, especially when it's like off the wall stuff that you're like, why is that happening? Because you can't really connect it to anything in this lifetime. Um, Figuring that out, seeing it, exposing it, then breaks the chain from it. And the last will be soul contracts, the agreements that guide your growth. Soul contracts, soul DNA, soul scripts, however you want to look at that, is very important because a lot of people think that everything is predetermined. That would mean that we don't have any free will. I don't believe that, and that's not what I've seen. We do have free will, and just because you've agreed to do something doesn't necessarily mean you're going to fulfill your contract. So be aware of that. Um, So the transformation begins Wednesday, October 1st at 7 p.m. Eastern here on Zoom. If you want to be part of this, you can go to my website, Psychic Geralyn St. Joseph.bravesites.com. Transform your relationship energy. I will also post this on Meetup. The link, I believe I already posted it on Facebook and on LinkedIn. And you could always just Google my name if you want to find me. I'm very easy to find. Thank you so much for coming. I'm going to end the recorded portion again. I hope this works this time. And I will see you guys next time to transform your relationship energy. Mahalo.